Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and distinguished speakers, thank you for this opportunity to open today's webinar on the International Translation Day. I am delighted to welcome you all to this remarkable online event and to celebrate the International Translation Day under the theme, Unveiling the Many Facets of Humanity. Today's event will explore the multifaceted dimensions of translation and its profound impact on our global community. Further, it will provide a critical context by exploring the power of dynamics within translation, particularly concerning indigenous languages. The act of translating indigenous languages is an act of profound responsibility, one that requires not only linguistic precision but also an understanding of the cultural sensitivity and ethical considerations. We must recognize that translation of indigenous languages is a unique and delicate endeavor. It carries with it the weight of preserving ancestral knowledge, traditions, and cultural nuances. It serves as a lifeline for indigenous communities, helping them to maintain their identities and pass down their heritage to future generations. Translation is not merely the exchange of words from one language to another. It is a bridge that connects cultures, fosters understanding, and unveils the rich tapestry of humanity that lies beneath the surface of language. We will also delve into the theme of technology and translation, exploring the ways in which cutting-edge technologies are reshaping translation practices, with a specific focus on indigenous languages. Digital communication is crucial for the preservation and promotion of indigenous languages, especially as younger generations embrace technology. Failure to adapt to digital formats may lead to the further marginalization and eventual disappearance of these languages. Therefore, translation plays a significant role in the preservation, revitalization, and dissemination of indigenous languages. It allows indigenous communities to access resources, knowledge, and information in their own languages and fosters cultural exchange between indigenous and non-indigenous communities. Language is a fundamental part of being human and a key means for people to access culture, justice, education, healthcare, and many other fundamental rights and public goods. Indigenous peoples around the world have been marginalized, and as a result, their languages are in danger of falling into disuse. Indigenous languages represent the very essence of diversity, embodying unique worldviews, histories, and cultural identities. Yet, these languages often find themselves at the margins, struggling for recognition, preservation, and revitalization. Reasons for language endangerment for indigenous peoples vary across different communities and locations. Indigenous peoples experience challenges connected to colonization, imperialism, educational disadvantage, forced migration and relocation, and other forms of outright or systematic violence. This has consequences for indigenous peoples' civic and human rights, for cultural diversity worldwide, and for centuries-old knowledge and know-how that could be decisive in humanity's efforts to solve the challenges of this century, including climate change and biodiversity loss. In the global context, as we increasingly recognize the importance of diversity, equity, and inclusion, it is imperative that we extend these principles to the realm of translation, especially for indigenous languages. UNESCO, together with other UN agencies, are currently working on building a global community for the preservation, the revitalization, and support of indigenous languages worldwide. The International Decade of Indigenous Languages is an important opportunity to strive towards a world in which indigenous peoples will entrust their languages to future generations, creating a better society for everyone. The decade is currently in a scale-up phase, and we wish to draw global attention on the critical situation of those many indigenous languages and to mobilize stakeholders and resources for their preservation. Today's event is also taking place under the auspices of the International Decade of Indigenous Languages. The scope of work envisaged during the International Decade of Indigenous Languages is beyond the capacity of any simple nation, country, stakeholder, group, generation, scientific discipline, policy framework, or set of actions. The International Decade of Indigenous Languages presents a framework for convening a wide range of stakeholders collectively to align their efforts and accelerate development plans. For these development plans, a multi-stakeholder-driven approach is instrumental in translating the global priorities, international standards and practices into accountable initiatives, specific policies, and implementation frameworks. I would like to extend an invitation to all of you to join our ever-growing International Decade of Indigenous Language community. We have activities being coordinated by a network of 1,721 organizations and 2,204 organizations. This community can only grow, and we hope you can be part of it. To promote visibility and encourage actions at a global level, UNESCO has also partnered with the Brazilian author Victor Santos to co-publish What Makes Us Human, an illustrated children's book about languages. The book raises awareness about the preservation of everyone's mother tongue and is promoting explicitly the International Decade of Indigenous Languages. The book is currently being translated into more than 18 different languages. Let's celebrate the power of translation. Thank you, Translation Commons, for organizing this event. May it be a source of inspiration for us all, and happy International Translation Day. Thank you all for your attention.